Welcome to Santo, Sam and Ed's Total Football
time slot. So,
come on, we got a special guest.
Can we stay in Melbourne, please? Because our next guest, well, he was a champion of the A-League in the Brisbane Roar. He moved over to Asia and had a very successful career there, and now he's part of the Melbourne City Revolution. Can you please welcome Socceroo, Erik Paartalu? Hello, mate. Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you.
What a coincidence. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago on the same day that David Villa arrived, and here we are on the same day that he announces that he might leave.
What are the odds, huh?
What are the odds? Look, we were speaking about it at the time, about the excitement of actually having a player of that stature come over, and at the same time being a teammate and not being overawed by it. So tell us, how's it been?
Yeah, we're very lucky to have him in the league. You know, certainly for us at Melbourne City, it's been a great start to the season with him in the team. He scored the 2 goals that we've scored, so he's pretty vital to our setup. You know, having him around the clubs has been massive. Along the sides of Damien Duff, Robbie Corrin, these guys who experience European campaigners, and David Villa was playing in a Champions League final a couple of months ago. So to have him in the country is just fantastic.
I'm glad you asked that question, Santo, because Erik was saying backstage how tired he is of talking about David Villa. So. Hey,
good start.
I've got it out.
Erik Paartalu, if that is in fact your real name.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's interesting.
It does sound a little bit made up.
Yeah, a little bit. Erik, you know what I mean?
Brisbane. Where did you go between Brisbane? Because of course we all know you from your great time in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And then City. There was a couple of stops in between.
Yeah, a couple of stops in Asia. One in Tianjin in China, and then in Thailand in Muntong. It's a club near in Bangkok.
Oh, we remember them from the Asian Champions League last year.
Yeah, they played against Victory.
Yeah, yes, they did.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your time there. You had a very interesting article the other day that I read, and you were talking, well, because we were chatting before about how the idea was for some of the players going over to play in the Asian leagues that it was a bit of a holiday. It was a bit of like, oh, it's easy money, it's whatever it is. And then you had this quote: the club employed people to help out with sports science, but the president comes in and says you have to train 6 days a week for 2 hours every session because the other staff members work 9 to 5, so we should work just as hard as them. It was unbelievable. Was it really like that? Was it really that were they that hard on the players?
Yeah, I mean, we played 3 games a week for a good 3 or 4 months there. And I was just speaking to the assistant coach who I still keep in contact there, and they haven't had a day off in 43 days. So, in the heat over there, you're training, 35, 36 degrees every single day, losing fluid, having to come back every single day and train.
And what's the thinking behind that? Like, what are they trying to prove? Like, surely you're just going to be exhausted.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And, the results weren't great after that, but some people over there are quite narrow-minded in their thinking.
Right. They just think hard work. That's the only way to do things. Hard work is more. But it's there's so many things in Australia in terms of recovery and sports science that. Well, they've got those wheelie bins that you guys get in. That's I imagine. Are the days of the wheelie bin over at Melbourne City? Because you guys are now hooked up with obviously Manchester City, and I saw the other day Frank Lampard was on a tour in a car of the Manchester City, their new training facilities. How much did they spent on the training facility?
Over £200 million or something. Yeah.
I mean, that's like half of what Santo earns a year. And do they dangle that carrot? Like, do they say to you guys, look, you're part of the family now, you get to go over and use these facilities?
I think there's that feel amongst the team.
Okay.
The City Group obviously own a few clubs around the world, and Melbourne City feel very much a part of that.
Right.
This is. We're on air, by the way. I thought just to tell you that.
We're just having a nice chat.
I'm going to need some coffee at the desk for Santo, by the way. Erik, it does look as though.
Don't mind him. He's an old prop comic. Don't mind him.
It does look as though David Villa is not staying for his 10 games. He might
So
only
you're
be
having
doing...
a go at me for asking David Villa questions? Okay, carry on.
Now I forgot my question.
David Villa's not staying?
Yeah, he's not staying.
Maybe, perhaps, that's the talk.
10 games he was, planned on staying. If he only stays 4, are you prepared for that? Is Melbourne City prepared for him only staying 6 games less than originally planned?
Yeah, I don't think the club was even prepared for him to come. It happened pretty late in the pre-season, and whether or not we have him for 4 games or 10 games, I think we're pretty lucky just to have him.
Yeah.
But the club's releasing a statement, I think, tonight, regarding that. But
Well, just one more David Villa question, if you don't mind, because I know he's been helping a lot of the players work on their finishing, and I think it's really starting to show in your game on the weekend.
Man.
I mean, this. What? Talk us through this one, Eric. I mean, up she goes and down. Yeah, so it's a conversion, I believe, in rugby.
I gave it a good clap as well.
Yeah, you were happy with that one. Yeah.
I've been hanging around Melbourne too long, and I think I was playing AFL.
Yeah, you tried.
When I actually saw that, I came into the television set as the ball was actually going. I didn't know whether it was a soccer ball or a weather balloon.
I think it's still coming down, mate.
I came in at the same time as you. The ball was in the air, and I thought that Michael Miss would have obviously.
Wait a minute. Well, it couldn't have been Michael Mitchell. He was on side.
That's right.
I've got a question. What, do we have to go?
We got to go. One more.
All right. This is your life, Eric. But your NSL career, I'd like to talk about that if that's all right with you.
Very short.
The Northern Spirit.
Yep.
A single appearance as a substitute on January the 11th, 2004. Take us through it.
I was just finished my HSC.
Well done.
And
How'd you go?
Were you reading Simon Hill's?
Quite a few words from there. But no, I was 17-year-old, working my way up through Northern Spirit, and came off the bench. I think it was against Melbourne Knights.
Wow.
At Pittwater Park with the Northern Spirit. So it didn't last very long. I think it was only on for 10 minutes, and then the league got shut down a couple of weeks later.
Halfway through the game, they just turned the floodlights on, and that's it, guys.
They saw you play for 10 minutes and then they shut the whole league down.
They must have seen one of those shots.
Hey, we've got to come back after that. Would you stick around? We've got something very special we'd like you to do for us. Hey, please take Erik Paartalu. We're back with more right after this very special announcement and a very special reveal here on Total Football. Stay right there.
You've been watching Santo, Sam and Eggs Total Football. Michael Zapponi speaking.